Good morning. We're squeezed in here. Good morning. Welcome to Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie. This is my husband, Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
We are kind of not crammed in our hotel, but we are trying to share space and fighting over elbow room.
No, this is about you. So here, let me just go
it's
like
great.
this.
No, it's great. All right. We are going through the book, The Power to Change. We are on 1.3 if you have been tuning in and going through the book with us. The book is about changing habits, changing your identity. We're getting to the root of who you are, why you think the way you think, why you believe the certain thoughts about yourself. And so the book has been really incredible. You finished the book, but we're going through it slowly with you. If you have the book,
so important. Great.
If you don't, you can tune in here. And so the point is to give you an overview of what the chapter, it's really chapter 1.3. There's a verse, there's concepts, there is actions, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, and if you're brand new here, we want to say hello, welcome. Comment new down below so we can make sure we can connect with you. We'd love to know more about you, your story, your goals. And if you're like, I don't understand, why are they working on the power to change? It's because mindset is so important. And so since we've already started, just go back. You can go back a couple days, and you can ignore that limit. Sorry.
You can go back a couple days. You can go to ketomomsecrets.com.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And you can click on book club, recipes, how to get started, mom fuel. Like, there's so many things that we talk about on the page. The mornings are to help you get your morning on track. Your mindset is important. Really, the way that you wake up in the morning, the thoughts that you're having, the way that you see yourself in the mirror is going to determine how you act towards other people, your actions, and ultimately the results that you're going to get at the end of the day.
Perfectly said.
All right, so we are diving into 1.3. The author, Pastor Craig Groeschel, tells some stories about his wife. And he basically says this. He says she grew up believing that she wasn't smart. She grew up and was told that she doesn't do well in school. She believed that she was an average student, didn't do great in school. She also believed that she was a crabby person in the morning because her family would say to her over and over again, "Why are you so crabby? You're not a morning person." Like, she was taking in all of these things and voices from her family. And you want to know what?
Yeah. You
might have people in your environment, in your family, in your workspace that they don't. Do you ever have people say something to you and they don't? It's not like it's meant to be mean. It's almost like a joke, but
the joke
said long enough,
right? You
take on the identity of it. So I'm gonna guess that maybe she didn't do amazing in school at first, so people would say something like, "It's not a big deal. You're a C student, right? Like, you're average. Who cares?" Like. Or maybe somebody said, like, "Why are you so crabby in the morning?" And she'd wake up groggy just trying to catch herself, but the words crabby were spoken over her, or not a morning. And he basically says this, my wife grew up believing certain things because her family spoke it over her. And so she got to the point as an adult, when she got married, she was like, why do I believe these things? Actually, she met him in college, and he told her, he said she was brilliant. And so for years, he would say, "Amy, you're so smart. Like, you're not just, like, I'm not just telling you that because I like you. You're so smart. You can be a morning person. Like, you're not a crabby person." And over the course of, I don't know if it was a year, she graduated her last 2 years with a 4.0 in college. And then also, truly, she prayed about why she felt a certain way. She actually probably did what we're going to tell you to do. And she asked the Lord to reveal to her why she felt like she was a crabby person in the morning, why she believed the lies, and then she reversed it. She switched it. She changed the way that she thought about herself by putting different words inside of her and finding the lie and replacing it with a truth.
There it is. So, her who changed her do.
Her who, hear this. This is important. Her who changed her do, because we often try so hard to change the things we're doing, and we believe in the lies that other people spoke about us, when we have to get to that root of it.
So when you think about who you are actually is what's driving your behavior.
Right. My eyes are super blurry. I need you to read some of those.
I'll just admit, this has been an interesting trip. This has been great for us. We were hanging out with some friends last night, and it's strictly to learn and grow. So that's what I really love about this page, and watching Stephanie connect with so many people through social media is this is a community, this is a platform that mindset does matter.
Right.
And that's why you might be thinking like, I don't understand. This is new to me.
Yeah.
I just thought that was those labels, they were like on me, they were placed on me. Like it's kind of a big, like I just kind of thought that's what it was. But the reality is when you start realizing that your thinking actually controls a lot of what happens in your life.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way. It can be renewed. It can be restored. It can become better way of thinking. So here are some things that maybe you hear repeatedly in your head. Right. Maybe these are some labels, or what we would like to say, these are some lies that the enemy have probably spoken about you. That you're a failure. You'll never amount to anything. You're pathetic. You're worthless. You'll never change. You can't do that. You don't know. You don't have what it takes. You will never be healthy. You can never be pure. You can never have a good marriage. You can never be financially free. I don't know if any of those statements that we just said resonated or maybe even kind of like hit you a little bit. Or maybe you're like, yeah, that's true. I say some of those things every day. Well, the reality is that we're believing that you're going to be able to identify that negative self-talk. We talked about this the other day, but keeping a journal. So write down those thoughts. Identify what triggers, what are the cues that creates those thoughts to happen. Mm-hmm. And you can even write down the time, because it's important, because what you'll start finding is that there's typically a pattern that happens in our mind that's created by some kind of an external circumstance, situation, or an environment. And sometimes we're only a 1 degree shift of changing just a small thing. Right. To be able to have major breakthrough in our life.
That's so good. So in the book, the author he's a pastor. He's going to help you identify the lies, and then he gives you a whole bunch of scripture, Bible verses, to help you replace that lie with the truth. I just opened a message from Judith. I don't know if Judith's on here, but we've been chatting this morning, and she goes, Stephanie, I'm going through the book with you. And she goes, I've realized, and this is a verse that we tell our kids all the time, and it's Romans 8. I think it's Romans 8:28. I don't see it in here, but maybe I'm wrong. It's, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yeah. That's the verse. But it's the truth that you know that can set you free. And so in the book, and I would encourage you to get the book, he's giving you truths to replace the lies that people have spoken over you, or the enemy has spoken over you, so that you can go, wait, I have been believing for this. I may have heard it once or twice, but now I repeatedly say it to myself. I need to take that out. I need to identify it. We talked about writing it down. And then I need to find the truth. And you might need help with that. You might go, oh my goodness, I don't even know how to find a truth. Like, I don't know how to navigate the Bible. I've never done that before. I don't even know. Like, I've been told my whole life I'm going to be this way. My body's this way. It runs in our genes. I'm fat. Like, let's just call it as it is. Like, I'm unhealthy. How can I replace those truths? And we can help you. You can send me a message and I can give you some ideas. But if you don't know the truth, you will not be set free. You will be tied to the bondage of the belief in the lie that you believe. And ultimately that you are going to get the goals that you are not going to achieve, the goals most likely that you're wanting to, if the only thing you're focusing on is do, because the deep-rooted seed inside of you doesn't actually believe that you can do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really good. And that's why we talk often about, like, what are you allowing into your eyes? What are you allowing into your ears? What are the words that are speaking out of your mouth? Because those I think it's really affirmations that you're talking about, like those words you're speaking over yourself. And I saw some comments, it's like, yeah, that's what I've always been told, or that's what I've always kind of just heard about myself. That's what I've come to believe. And so there's so many great, I'll give you some, like, this is some truths that maybe you needed to hear this Saturday morning.
Nope, it's Friday.
Is it Friday?
It is. No, it's Thursday.
You're right. Because Saturday is your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Why did I think today was... I apologize.
I'm going to be 40.
Oh, she is. Who knew 40 could look this good? All right, so here's some things that God says about you. I just want to encourage you this morning. Here are some things. You may hear all the lies all the time. You may hear all of those perpetual negative thought patterns every day. And maybe you woke up on this Thursday morning and you're like, you know what? That's what I'm thinking. And that's actually kind of where I think my day is going to head. Is this going to be a bad day? whatever you're telling yourself. So here's some things I just want to encourage you with, that you are actually sought after. You are actually precious. You're a new creation. Did you know that you're not condemned? You can be forgiven. You can be loved. You can be accepted. You're a child of God. Did you know that you are free? Your body is actually a temple of God. So that's why it's so important to ask yourself the question, what foods am I fueling my body, my temple with? You're a treasured possession. You're complete in Christ. You're chosen. You're called. You're an ambassador. You're a masterpiece. Like, think of some of these words. Have anybody ever told you these things? Those are truths that you can take those, you can apply those to yourself, because that's who you are. And when you know who you are, you know what to do. And here's the coolest thing, is you were kind of talking about the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But did you know that you're more than a conqueror through Jesus, because he loves you?
So good.
I think the star is a great way to kind of wrap up this chat.
So he says this. He goes, true and lasting change does not come from self-driven, do your best behavior modification. You change by God-empowered spiritual transformation, which happens when you embrace your true God-given identity. So we're going to go through that with you. We're going to take this step by step. We're going to help you realize the power that you have within you, the power that's all around you, the gifts and talents that God has given you, identifying the lies and putting the truths in. That's what we want to help you with. So there is an action after every...
this is good. You want me to just read it to them?
You can give me the action.
All right, so today's exercise for part 4 is, has someone in your family or someone in a close relationship told you something that you've believed about yourself? So even if it's not true, can you just list out on a piece of paper today's action is, or send us a message if you want to chat about this, but send us a list or write down your list. This is what I'd encourage you to do in your quiet time. Take a couple minutes and be honest with yourself. What are some of those truths? What are some of those lies? Like, what are some of those things that are just constantly running? Mm-hmm. Write down those lists of lies.
Judith said this morning as I was chatting with her, she was like, it was actually really hard to write down some of the lies. Probably because you've believed them for so long. And I'll tell you this, a lie is going to be something that makes you feel less than. It's something that, it's an excuse. It's a victim mentality. It's I can't do this because.
Yeah.
It's something that doesn't bring you peace. It doesn't bring you joy. You look in the mirror and maybe it's one of the first things that you say. Like, you have to think about it because you've said it so often. And then we can help you replace the truth, because the truth might feel uncomfortable. But in the long run, it will bring you peace. It will bring you joy. It will make you put a smile on your face. But we have to help you interweave that in there, because you've been told the lie so long, and probably by yourself.
It starts with what we wrote down the other day, with the things that you want to start and the things that you want to stop.
Right.
There's a reason why you want to stop those certain behaviors. There's a reason why. And so we talked about your underlying belief. So the reality is, this is just like the next step further. Yeah. So if you know what you want to change, or you know what you want to improve, the reality is we're just going to identify where those lies are coming from.
Yep.
But here we are. We're just going to list them out. And then next, what you're going to do is any accusations consistently repeat about yourself that are not on the list of lies, whether or not you know their origin. So basically, we're attempting to identify the origin of where these lies come from.
Yep.
So which identity statements and Bible verses listed in the chapter stood out to you? So if you go back, some of those things that we were reading over you, like if anything kind of hits you and you're like, ooh, I really like that. I want that to be me. I want to encourage you to write those things down, because those are words that you can start speaking over yourself. Those are affirmations. So you are who God says you are. And this comes from 1 John, but it says, see what a great love the Father has lavished on us, that he would have been called children of God, and that is who we are.
So good. So good. I hope that this is helping you see goals and systems differently. Our goal is to go through this with you to help you identify who you are, figure out the lie. I'm excited. I think I've already been hearing some great stories and people reaching out going, hey, this is super powerful for me. So if you want to share with us, we'd love to know more. Reach out. You can always send us a message. You can always comment below and ask questions. You can go to ketomomsecrets.com for things that you feel like you want, recipes. The things that you need are also mindset. So we have both of them for you. Thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. We truly appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
day, everybody.